Estamos en la municipalidad de Paterson, en el condado de Passaic, New Jersey, en la ciudad donde hay más peruanos a nivel mundial fuera del país, con el alcalde de la ciudad de Paterson, Jeffrey Jones. Él es vecino de esta ciudad, él ha nacido en Paterson, estudió en Paterson y trabaja y vive en Paterson. Eso es lo que nos hemos enterado antes de hablar con el alcalde. Mayor, you born in this city, you work, you study in the high school, the university. Can you tell us something about that?
Oh, absolutely. And hola, ¿cómo está? Yes, everything of my growth, other than 4 years in the Marine Corps, was done here in Paterson, New Jersey. My church home, my education, escuela, family, house, and now City Hall as the mayor, yes.
All towns are like a big family,
Yes.
and the father is the mayor. You are as the father in this city, and people living in the city, they are as a big brotherhood, okay? And there are many ethnias, skin color, languages, that's Paterson. Okay, and why some problems with Hispanic people in this city? Last year there were problems for authorization of parades, and can you tell us something about that?
Well, I'll have to disagree with you that there were no problems. There is a need for clarification as to how, as you said, a multicultural city such as ours moves forward. A city like Paterson, fortunately and unfortunately, has to understand and grow and has to take along with it all peoples. All peoples have to be receiving the same benefit. And as we try to figure out what that benefit is, that's where the politics comes in. So more specifically to the question as to whether or not there was a problem in the past, the city has on its books a number of laws regarding the congregation of persons, known as festivals, parades, and things like that. You have to have those because you're looking at a volume of people and they want to do many events, and you have to look at their safety and the safety of the citizens. Well, if you don't use the rules, then people get hurt. If people get hurt, nobody wants to come. Nobody comes, all the property owners lose their investment. So when the parade events happened last year, it was very clear that we did not, as a city, fully articulate police, the cost, fire, the cost, ambulance, the cost, traffic impacts, the cost. And the city is a city who doesn't have a lot of people with a lot of money. So all things have to be built on based on what we have and how we allow and support the cultures. There are 52 different nationalities and ethnic groups here in the city, 52. Every group raises their flag outside of City Hall to demonstrate their nationalism. We support that, we encourage that. Most groups want to have a parade and a festival. And many groups want to have a parade and a festival, not just for locally, but regionally. So you're talking about potentially 10,000 folks locally and maybe 50 to 100,000 people potentially outside of the city coming to a city with only 8.4 square miles. Meanwhile, the residents who still live here are here. So you've got a whole lot of people on a very small footprint, and everybody has a different reason for being here. So the only thing you have is your policy, your rules. How do we help people experience their cultural experience, but do it safely? And where it's not a burden to the citizens. That was last year's challenge. This year, we've gone to court last year, and we were able to find out what we need to do. There is a process. Process hasn't changed, but we're clear. The process says if you want to have an event, you can. You have to be willing to help pay for it. Mm-hmm. That's the end of the conversation. That's really it. So we're now where organizations want to have that, and we say yes, but are you willing to help us? And some said yes, some said no. Can't keep being no. It has to be where we find a way to do it together. And it has nothing to do with culture or ethnicity. I know people want to make it that way, but that's not the case. Most people in this city are poor. They have to pay through rent and mortgage and car payments and all this other stuff. So the dollars they have is all they have. If out of their pockets, they have to pay more for something they didn't get the benefit of, it's not fair. So we ask everybody, think about it. If you get vendors who will pay, then you pay for the security. If you get vendors who will help offset the cost of trash, because trash is very expensive, then you can keep having the events. The more people you bring in, the more profit you make, but the burden of the taxpayers, it's not there. Nobody should want to have a community be mad at them because they want to celebrate their nationalism. And if we don't find the way to fix this, that's what happens.
Mayor, tell us about the problem with the Peruvians this year. Who decide the parade and the flag rising? Who decide? The council, the mayor, or how is the rules?
Well, the rules haven't changed, and that's the interesting part of this whole conversation, which is why we have to keep working towards it. Any organization, any individual can call City Hall and say, I want to do a flag raising. I have tried to formalize the process by going through the Consul General's office because he represents the nation of Peru. A citizen, though, can say, I want to do a flag raising. And the city would say, based on whether or not it was available and timing, sure. So, but if 4 people, 5 people, 10 people says, I am Peruvian, I am whatever, I want to do a flag raising, how many flag raisings are we going to have? Every time you raise a flag, it's a cost. It's a cost for the maintenance, it's a cost, so the police, it's a cost. So we hope that the organizations who want to do the flag raising are very clear. Who are you? What are you looking to do? In the case of the Peruvian Parade Festival, what you have is anybody can say, I'm the Peruvian Parade, or I'm Peruvian, and I want to have a festival and a parade. Anybody can say it. And they'll go right down the street here to the hall here, and they'll take out an application. The application they take out simply says their name, address, and the date and time they want to do an event. And then that application has to go to Public Works, the Police Department, Recreation, Fire Department, and a few other departments. And then, and only then, it goes up to the City Council for passage. Folks think that because they get a permit, sort of like this one in my hand, that this means that they can have a parade. It does not. No. This simply says of the 4 or 5 different departments that you have to say, review. Yeah, it's a review. This says that Public Works, the people who block off the street, say they don't see a problem. Now this has to then go with the police's, how many police officers are necessary to have an event, how many people. Then it goes to the health department. So until it goes to the city council completed, there's no event. So this is not an authorization. This just simply means that you've begun the process.
Is your mind to help Peruvians in this case?
Well, I don't have a mind one way or another. This is a city of democracy. If you or any other organization or community wants to do something, we encourage it because it helps the greater good. But you have to go through the process. And unfortunately, we have folks who make statements like, this means that the parade is guaranteed. No, it doesn't. Here's the example. A person can start the application and not deliver an insurance form. One form. The parade does not happen.
Yes, I know.
So if someone says, I got a permit, and that means the parade's going to happen, it's not true. Someone can say, I got an application, but they have a $35 or $55 fee that goes with the application. If that fee is not paid, then the application didn't happen. So the process has so many steps. Yes, it suggests by getting permits and things that you've begun the process. But here's the other thing. It could go way upstairs to the city council. The city council can say no. So is the parade official? No parade is official until it goes through the entire process. That's
the city council say yes. The mayor have the power to veto?
Yeah, I could, but I wouldn't do it. I don't do stuff like that.
That's my question. If you help?
Well, no, that wasn't your question. That wasn't your question. I encouraged the relationship with the Peruvian community. I believe it is a good relationship between the city of Paterson and the Peruvian community. I have been proud to know the Peruvian community as I have. The Consul General and I have created, I think, a number of first steps. I don't believe that the citizens who are Peruvian descent should be existing just as they do. I think there's so much more. good quality schools, jobs, quality housing. So it's more than just a parade and a festival. My conversation is a more global existence. Parades are one-shot deal, but life is a lifelong ordeal. I'm interested in fixing the totality of the circumstance, and if parades and festivals are part of it, that's fine, but that's cultural. But eating, good quality education, resources, those things are the things that people weren't talking about, and that's what we're talking about now. So do I support the Peruvian community? Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good news for Peruvian community. You were with the Peruvian counselor in New York, right?
I have been with the Peruvian consular in New York, the ambassador, and I think pretty soon the community will understand that I am going to be receiving one of the highest accommodations from President Humala soon in Washington, D.C. It's the cross. So, and I believe, as I understood, is because we have found a way, Consul General and the city of Paterson, to take a look at Peruvians as a body of people rather than just a commodity or an economic opportunity. And for that, I'm thankful, and I'll be going down to D.C. to receive this honor. But it could only happen if the conversation between government and government talks about all people and how to raise the consciousness and the life of people rather than how it's just a benefit. Listen, we've had the city, I've entertained some discussions with folks who've promoted festivals and parades, and they have said that they can make money so that the city doesn't incur cost, and yet the parade incurs cost, incurs benefit. The question now is, from the discussions, which one's important? If the city can't afford it, then the city can't afford it. But if there's a mechanism by which everybody can be satisfied, police have to be paid, the fire has to be paid, the streets and so forth and so on, the festival wants to make money, then you do it in a way that everybody's happy. That's the kind of relationship I think we're all looking for. Not just Peruvian, African American, Dominican, Guatemalan, San Salvadorian, Ecuadorian. That's what will make this city an international city and make it be the place where people from all over want to come and say, I am recognized, I am a part of this fabric, I want to grow here. That's what we're working on.
I would like to hear from you an address to Peruvians in Paterson and then for Hispanics.
I'm sorry, rephrase the question. What would you like me to do again?
Address to Peruvian community in Paterson.
Hay para todos. There's nothing more else to say. Hay para todos. Everybody has to eat. Everybody has to grow. No one community can be left behind. And unless we start having a plan and a conversation, then we do stay left behind. This is democracy. This is the nation of democracy, where a vote, because you're 18, you get to select the candidate of your choice, and you get to do it freely. Well, that's only as good as everybody else growing themselves and their families and seeing a better tomorrow. That's what this is about.
And for Hispanics?
There's no difference. There can't be a difference.
Okay. Anything more?
Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
You too, sir.